From Midtown Manhattan at New York Post headquarters, I'm Mark Hale as we get set to talk some Knicks basketball. Heading into the All-Star break, Knicks will play tonight against the Hawks, play tomorrow night in Miami before the All-Star break. And we want to bring in Mike Vaccaro, our sports columnist, who's been covering the Knicks for us all season long. And Vac, let's start with Carmelo Anthony, who's kind of following in Mark Sanchez's footsteps here as the new A-Rod in New York almost, where it seems like he's getting blamed for so much. And he made his return last night against the Nets. I'm curious what you thought of his return, and also if you found it interesting that he only took 11 shots all night.
I mean, the one word that comes to mind, Mark, is rusty. He looked like a guy who hadn't been playing for 2 weeks, and I think that's, he missed a layup, he missed a couple of easy shots. I think the 11 shots he took kind of shows that he's trying to insinuate himself in his offense. Certainly in the first quarter, the Knicks kind of looked like a super team before Deron Williams kind of took over the show a little later on. And I still maintain that the Knicks will be fine and he'll be fine, and that he and Jeremy Lin will work very well together. I thought you saw flashes of that last night. There were a couple of really nice looks he made to Amare. And it's a good thing for him that they had already lost a game prior, because as bad as he's been getting ripped today, it would be even worse if they'd been coming in on an 8 or 9 game winning streak. So I think they'll be fine. Look, I think most Knicks fans would have signed up for 2-2 on this homestand, thinking they probably would have lost to the Mavericks and the Hawks. If they win tomorrow, it'll be 2-2, only reversed. And without Joe Johnson looking like he's going to play tomorrow night, that's certainly a pretty strong possibility for the Knicks, you would think.
All right, let's move on a little bit, because not only are they kind of working Carmelo back into the mix, but they're also trying to get Baron Davis into the mix. They're trying to get J.R. Smith into the mix. As Mike D'Antoni said, we have to get some things sorted out. And back, people are saying Carmelo has to adjust to Jeremy Lin, but really, so many of these guys have to learn how to adjust to each other. Lin's got to still learning his teammates, including Smith and Davis now. Davis has got to learn the whole team when he's running the floor. It almost seems like a lot of guys really are having to learn how to play with each other.
Yeah, and I think really where you saw the tenor of the game change against the Nets was when they started to incorporate Baron Davis, J.R. Smith, and that kind of, which going to become a second unit almost. And that's really where the game kind of changed. And I'm not blaming those guys, because I don't think that's fair any more than it's fair to blame Carmelo for what he did or didn't do in that game. But I do think that that's going to be, one aspect of the Knicks that's really going to be something to keep an eye on. Because, I mean, ideally you don't want Jeremy Lin to play 45 minutes a game like he did against the Mavericks. I mean, you'd like him to play 34, 35, 36 minutes, and that's easier done if Baron Davis is coming in and playing a solid 14, 15 minutes and accepts that role. He really looked a little rusty too last night, I thought. He made one shot from about 35 feet that, was quintessential Baron, but everything else he kind of looked half a step slow, I thought. But you know what? The point guard is such a vital part of what D'Antoni's offense is, that you would expect it would take him a little while to get reacclimated to that. And let's face it, what he's giving them is still better than what Mike Bibby has been giving them in a reserve role. So I think that's going to be something you're really going to want to see, how these new guys, are going to take to their new roles on the Knicks team as well.
Lastly, Vac, any concern at all about Iman Shumpert? I mean, this is a kid who, on opening day, he sprains his right MCL. Now he's out with some left knee pain, so we're dealing with both knees. For a kid who's just out of college, a rookie, a little alarming that he's having knee problems this early in his career.
Yes, I think he wouldn't be the first guy to come in and the pace of the game, the NBA game, which is so lightning quick, would take a physical toll on a young player, even a guy as athletic as Shumpert. But the thing that would concern me is the fact that at his very best, it's his athleticism that really kind of sets him apart and makes him an impact player. His athleticism and his energy. We saw that the way he shut down Calderon in Toronto and made a key steal last week. That's really what I think has really drawn him both to Mike D'Antoni and to the Garden faithful, is the energy he brings and the athleticism he brings. And if his knees are going to start acting up like this, now he's got a matching set, that's got to be kind of a little bit of a concern, because knee injuries are the kind of things that tend to flare up across a 5, 10, 15-year career.
All right, we'll see how the Knicks do tonight, obviously, when they play the Hawks at Madison Square Garden. You can continue to read Vac at nypost.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Mike Vac. You can follow me on Twitter at Hale Mark. For Vac, I'm Mark. We'll talk some more Knicks soon. Thanks very much.